Good afternoon and welcome back. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but I am back and I've got a little bit of explaining to do. I basically got kicked out of my house. Well, I still live in my house, but no more mechanical work. One of the neighbours came over to me and basically said, enough's enough. We're sick of the cars, we're sick of the noise, we're sick of the fumes. And I go, you know what? No, I'm within my rights. And a couple of minutes later, I realise, nah, I've way overstepped my bounds. And I'm just that dickhead neighbour. So a couple of phone calls later, bloody hell, I reckon 25, 30 phone calls the next day to real estate agents. I'd managed to book a couple of factories to go see, and now I'm standing in my own factory, which is pretty bloody cool, but it's meant I've had a couple of weeks just to set up, get all my stuff here. The first weekend was just a lot of painting. I'll show you guys around in a second, but just wanted to have a little bit of an explanation there. So if you piss your neighbours off, listen to them. If they're within their right, take it. Realise that you're the dickhead and move on. Because that's their sanctuary, that's their home. And you don't want to ruin that for them. Especially, it was a quiet street. I was the only one really making noise, and we can't have that. But yeah, this is it. So looking down from the mez here, got a customer's V in at the moment, Mr. David Blaznick. Ready for a bit of a fuse box wire tuck. Got a little bit of a gem hiding underneath that Cupertino car cover. Sorry, I struggle to say it. Cupertino. They were nice enough to send that one out to me when I asked if they had any nice car covers to protect my cars or customer cars when they're in the shop not getting worked on. And it works beautiful, nice soft shell cover, nice, easy to put on. Got a bag so I can keep them safe. Stop the dirt getting on customer cars. And of course, the pride and joy of the fleet, the Echo. What a car. Man, the roof's actually really bad, sun faded as, but who cares? So let's get down there. Obviously the top up here is just mainly storage. So still a lot to set up. I've got most of my stuff here now, but it doesn't mean it's in any particular style of order. So as time goes on, I'll get it sorted. And of course the car under the Cupertino cover is the Ferrari. I probably should have gone the size up for this car in particular, but it works, it protects it. And then the Echo. Managed to probably spend a day and a half, 2 days work on this so far since it's been here. Not a hell of a lot, but you might notice it's sitting on all four wheels. And it's at its right height at the front. It's obviously going to have a little bit more camber. The back, probably about half an inch lower than it's going to be sitting. Sitting absolutely slammed at the moment, but it rolls. This car, the wheels are turned at the moment, so it didn't roll, but you get the idea, because in the back, it's got a S13 rear end welded in. You can see it's still a few stays. Most of the structural welding's done, and I've just got a lot of steel to add in. That was one of those ones I did want to film, but it was just so fiddly. There was a lot of welding, a lot of grinding. There was just shit going on everywhere, and I'd rather just be able to concentrate on what I was doing and just get the job done right. So that's what I did, and that's where I am. So yeah, the car is rolling on rear suspension. There's actually no springs in the back, so I need to pull them out so I can send a measurement to Shockworks. Get Chris to sort me out there, see what he can do for me, eh? And today, actually, what else did I do on the inside? There's a bit more going on in here, I think. The interior, in the inside, we've got the factory seat mocked up. That's not staying. Same with just a steering wheel. We do have the rest of the tunnels tacked up. Still got to beat it with a hammer from the inside. Because now having a hoist, first time having a hoist in my life, I can actually get it up in the air and work on it properly, which is going to make things a lot faster and quicker. But yeah, tunnel. The front half obviously was mad at. You can see the gearbox stays on the side there. Just got to trim the bolts down. Back half, when I was down at GMF the other week, I took some measurements and I bent it up. Came up pretty good. Not the most even. Probably could have trimmed it a little bit more before I put it in. Steering column. If you see, just there's a big bloody motor, because this has got the electric column, and I've been adapting it to the factory thing. So you can see, got the factory plastics on. It's been a fight. This was last night's fight here. The adjuster doesn't work anymore, I broke that, so that's just going to be bloody one position. I think I've got the steering wheel sitting right where I want it. Obviously the seat's going to be sitting lower, so that's quite close to my knees. It's a battle. But to get it sorted now, you'd think, oh yeah, that's not too bad. Getting the steering column in there is one thing, the intermediate shaft is the next. Because at the moment, that's pretty hard in the firewall because it's too short. And the uni is hitting the hole I've just drilled. But yeah, we've got to cut that out, make it work. That is this morning's battle. So we'll get the Ferrari out of the way, start cutting and grinding the Echo shaft, hopefully have that mocked up, ready to go. I've actually measured the tail shaft as well. Just as a point of reference, the car will need a shaft that is 1280 millimeters long. Well, that's total measurement, it'll be a little bit shorter. So yeah, if you want to compare that to other cars, so you know this car's not actually that short. My S15 obviously had a transfer case on the back, but that was 950 something from memory. But yeah, let's get into this bloody thing. I'm excited. I've tentatively booked a drift day with the boys at the end of November, so I want to be driving this then. So we've got a hell of a lot to do, but I think it's doable and I reckon I can make it happen. The big thing right now is get all the fab done that needs to have stuff in the engine bay out of the way so I can pull the engine out and then get it to my mate Corey so he can paint the bay, which means I've got to weld all the holes up. I still got to fit a couple of little things. There is a lot of work. There's a hell of a lot of work, and I reckon I'm going to try and spend an hour every day after customer jobs on it, but yeah, let's get into it, eh? Let's do this bloody car. This was probably the quickest progress I've had on the car the whole bloody time. Intermediate shaft, although it's not made, it's all mocked up. If you can get in there, get right down there, see 2 guesswork holes, turns out right between them, so it's pretty bloody close. Shaft's in. That's not my good hand, I've got no strength in that farm. I cut myself the flap disc, but you're gonna have to take my word for it. It turns on the inside. The office, obviously the steering wheel's in there. That's just a placeholder. New steering wheel is actually going to be very similar, but we've got the motor is taped up here at the moment. I've got to put a bracket down here to hold them in place. Might do that next, just so it's done. And then, but that's enough of what's going on in the office and the inside. We got to get this thing up in the air because the front wheels are doing what they want. I need to swap the knuckles side to side, put some rack ends in there, get it steering. Maybe I'll tack up the bloody column while I'm there. And yeah, measure the coilovers. Not going to be a huge day working on it today, just trying to knock out some of those niggly little jobs that pester me, and then I can push this car out of the way, as just got to make some room for the customer cars, you know. But yeah, get this out of the way, get it done. Not far off pulling the engine back out, to be honest. I can't find my hole saw in the move, so I can't drill the hole for the loom. Once I find that, I will I'll drill the hole, and I think the engine can come out. There's not much stopping me at that point. This makes me laugh. I keep looking at it and I kind of want to find a solution, but I kind of find it bloody funny. The radiator is only 3/4 size, or 2/3 size I should say. There's a bit of plastic that goes on the other side. Makes me want to put a radiator full size, but this was good enough, right? It's not the fanciest shaft, but it's definitely a good prototype. It's bloody gal in the middle. I need 16mm rod. It's a press-in on both ends to keep it reasonably straight. It's not, but it's close enough for what I need to be. So yeah, just a couple of tacks on each end. That's good enough. Column is attached in there. Column is attached in there. Now I can put this bloody thing back in and attempt to get it back up on the hoist, which I think is going to be a bastard because I like low cars and low cars don't like hoists. This last step may not look like much, but it's a bloody big one. So we've got rack ends, and quite honestly, I can tell you already, they're in a shit spot on the knuckle. This point here needs to be about here. So that'll get changed once everything gets pulled down. You can see how much bracing I need to do under there for the engine mount as well. but it's just enough clearance for the engine. So that is good. All the steering shaft is in there. That is all good. Both sides are on, both sides are done up. Neither side have got brakes. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be, the bump steer should be able to get fixed by moving that. The caster on the other hand, I'm going to have to change the bush in the back here, change the angle there. That will be easy enough. But for now, I need to grab the transmission jack it up, grab the tape measure, measure out these shocks. The backs are already welded in position, so they're easy. Fronts, I just have to do one side. Bear with me. And then we'll bring it to the ground, make sure she steers. And that's it. She's done for the day. I'm at a point where I could probably keep going and do a heap of stuff on the car today, but just feeling a little bit burnt out. It's been a bloody big week, and I'm pretty happy with the progress. Let me know what you guys think of this bloody build. It's a small video, this one, but we're getting some progress done. There's going to be a heap more going on soon. End of November is the deadline to have it done. I'm bloody excited. I am way more excited about this build than any other build I've had. So, yeah, can't wait to drive it. On a side note though, obviously, I'm in a new shop. If you guys want work done, mainly wiring work, probably do a little bit of fab, a little bit of mechanical, but mainly wiring, hit me up. Go for Instagram, Logan Speed Shop. Flick me a message and I'll get back to you. Usually pretty bloody quick. But yeah, let me know what you're after. I'm out in Melton and Melbourne. Flick me a message and we can go from there. Thank you very much. I hope you're enjoying the build. Let me know what you think anyway. Drop us a comment below. Thank you. I know I already closed this off, but I fucked up. Fucked up real bad. Show you. So, steering wheel. We're going to be pulling it towards me. We're going to be turning right. Watch that wheel. We go right, the wheel goes left. Don't mind the guard liner. We go left, the wheel goes right. We got bloody funky opposite steering, and that is all because I moved that steering rack. Because it's meant to be a rear rack, not a front rack, which I didn't even think about this problem. I assumed it would be fine. It's now making the long side short and the short side long, where it was the opposite before. So the challenge now is I need to find a similar size rack, and it needs to be a front rack. Because, yeah, it turns out you can't just swap the bastards between each other, and I didn't even think about that. Absolute rookie mistake. But never fucked with shit like this before. Fuck around and find out, right?